Welcome to the Genesee podcast. That's right. It's the Genesee County Compassion Club show. The wrestling entrance. Well, that's pure pro wrestling. Rubs off in the studio. Right. We come in here and we don't even know what takes over us. I think it's like, hey, Toby, how's it going, brother? Awesome, man.
I feel like I'm burning the nose hairs.
You probably are.
Dude, you know, you look like you're in Total Recall. You got to pull it out. You got to pull it out.
Today we bring
On
you
today's
lasers.
Today's show,
That was my nose.
have LASIK eye surgery live.
LASIK nose surgery live.
Is that like laser hair removal?
I think I
Yeah.
did send some hair in there,
Nice.
dude. This thing's pretty powerful.
It might do something.
Hey, welcome. This is a Compassion Club show. We're here at FlintTalkRadio.com. Thanks for being here today. We got Chelsea in the studio.
Hello!
Woo!
Yay!
Topstep's back.
I made it out alive.
Made it out, made it back.
Made it out of the forest.
And of course, got Chad and myself back in the studio holding it down. Woo, Chad! All right. Man, we got some awesome show today. We got Munchies.
Don't forget about John.
Oh, jeez.
John is back behind the glass.
Man himself.
Whoa.
Devouring some of the stuff you brought in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Food.
Yes.
Toilet paper.
They go together.
Essential studio supplies, you know.
You need both of them. You can't have one
It's-
without the other.
You know, they really should have like toilet paper at the grocery store next to like the beans and the Doritos.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So, anyways, hey, we're glad to be here in the studio. Thanks for joining us. Got some medical marijuana information for you today. What's happening here in Michigan and around the country, and other interesting tidbits of whatever else we come up with. So, thanks for joining us. What's up? What do we got going on, guys? I mean, Toby, you got this awesome kaleidoscope, glow-in-the-dark shirt there.
I just got back from the Electric Forest Festival, which I'm still tired from. 6 days. But yeah, I actually met this guy, and I'm going to try to get some G3C shirts out there. Black light, laser sensitive. Be awesome.
Fun time.
Yeah. Hours and hours of fun right there.
Yeah. I'm seeing Christmas presents galore.
Yeah.
And do they come with a laser? Or?
Yeah, I believe they come with a laser. I got mine with a paint. I bought a painting from the guy, which is also laser sensitive.
Wow.
You
Make
can
sure
color,
that
you
it's
can color
cool.
it in from a distance. It's awesome.
Cool.
When we cut the lights down so you can see the full effect. And
Yeah, cut the lights down for
Yeah,
us.
yeah.
Just get trippy in here.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah, this thing is awesome.
Sweet.
Oh, yes. That's pretty
Double laser.
But I can see people at the 420 just playing with them.
So, was it burning you?
No, it doesn't burn that much.
Yeah.
It just, as long as you have the shirt on.
Like these weird traces in your chest hair.
My chest hair is purple.
Uh-oh, laser
Sweet. Well,
radiation.
Electric Forest, man. Tell us about that. For
I don't know how many, but like 80 bands or something. It was ridiculous. Found a few favorites. Knife Party was awesome. Cruella.
Nice, yeah, I heard they were really good. Knife Party.
Knife Party.
Yep,
Blew it up.
right on.
wow.
And
Bonfire. They played that?
Boombox was there. I miss them guys. But Cruella, they were really, really good, even though they lost power for a minute. But that was interesting. They tried to start like a USA chant. USA, like 100 people out of 30,000. That's all they did. They got like 3 out of them. USA. It's kind of pathetic.
Didn't go so well.
It's
A little early for
experiment
4th of July, you know. A little early.
It should be like RDK.
They were.
RDK.
Yeah. World Dab Crew.
Yeah. Bring out the World Dab Crew.
Ooh.
But yeah, it was a blast. There wasn't a lot of vendors. I planned on doing a lot more talking to people and getting the word out there, but it was kind of lame. So we definitely need to be there next year.
Right on.
They need vendors. They need
How was the
things
weather?
happening. Weather was awesome for us.
I was
We
wondering.
had
We had a lot of rain here.
Saturday. It looked like it was going to rain for the first half of the day. Everybody's kind of scared that it rained. It sprinkled for maybe a half hour or something.
Nice.
And
I was wondering if you guys are going to be like, you know, the Woodstock was like back in '94. Just
No,
doing
it was-
mudslides down the hill.
Mudslide.
and
Be
well, that
interesting.
happens when it rains. Yeah, everybody gets out their boots.
How was the
and
forest
goes crazy.
No,
Forest
like,
was
really.
unbelievable this year. Yeah,
Nice.
I wish I would have had pictures ready actually, but yeah, the forest, they recycle everything. They make everything, buildings and stuff, all out of recycled stuff. It's amazing what people
wow.
do.
That's cool.
Things. I'll have pictures up next week.
Sweet. I know I saw some stuff on Facebook and whatnot, so it's very cool.
Yeah, they had a huge pagoda like island in there this year.
Wow.
Like 5 pagodas. You could climb up in it, and they had a little art gallery.
Fantastic.
saloon, like a Western saloon type thing. We had
Yeah.
burlesque shows and stuff.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
Get a sarsaparilla.
Bar out there, yeah.
Did
Had a
you?
weird float, but-
Sarsaparilla.
Sarsaparilla.
That probably
Yeah, but it was awesome.
Very
Good
cool.
food, good people. I think there was only one death, which is pretty impressive when you get 60 or 80,000 people together,
Yeah.
especially in that kind of situation. Yeah, it was
Mm-hmm.
unfortunate. And just a couple bands didn't show up, but other than that, everything was great. The rain just settled the dust and made it perfect for everybody.
Couple
Way
days
to wrap up,
without
way to wrap up the commentary of the Electric Forest. There was only one death.
Only a couple bands.
So it turns out pretty good.
her. No kidding.
No, you're true. It's true.
Well, in a normal city setting, you have that many
I got
people.
you. Yeah.
You know,
you're right.
20
It's
people
just
a day are going to die.
statistical thing.
Yes.
Right on. On a positive note.
All right. Sorry to bummed anybody out.
Right. So, hey, how's medical marijuana? No.
Yeah.
We do have some news and stuff for you. Chelsea, I know you've been working on a ton of stuff there.
Yeah.
Got some articles for
Well,
us.
I've been stockpiling. I only brought a few things. Mainly, I would like to talk on a serious note about our review panel, our medical marijuana review panel. A lot of people don't really know even what it is, and I think
Sure.
that's a major problem. Everyone that is a patient or caregiver needs to know these things, and what to do to encourage other patients that may not have their conditions already acknowledged to get
Right.
their word out. That's
Absolutely.
very important.
Mm-hmm.
So,
So this is the panel that helps people petition the state to add on a condition. So if you've got something that you qualify or you think should qualify for the use of medical marijuana, but it's not included on the current list of conditions, you could ask the state or petition them to add that condition on, and then lo and behold, if they approved it, you would be qualified.
Whoa.
But these guys are the people that push that to the state for you.
Well, this is the place that you petition to. Is LARA, the same department that handles the applications for medical marijuana. So
yes.
let's say, for instance, you had, well, Parkinson's disease, since that's one of the conditions they're looking at right now.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, chances are there's probably symptoms that go along with Parkinson's disease that could still get you qualified today. However, if you wanted to get qualified just solely on the fact that you have Parkinson's disease, because it's not listed as a specific condition on the application form, you wouldn't qualify.
Exactly.
So this, you could petition LARA and say, hey, this is something that should be allowed, you know, for medical marijuana, or at least allowed to be able to use, alleviate the condition, and I'd like to add on this. They can go do their research. They have a panel form.
Yes.
So they're supposed to have a panel form
Yes.
when someone petitions them. So now here's the story.
So,
no panel, man.
Right. No panel. First, it took almost 4 years to create a panel.
Right.
Then they went ahead and, out of nowhere, we have this panel set up for you, all ready to go. We're ready to have public meetings. Come, sit with us, tell us why you think your condition needs to be added, yada yada. So we went through PTSD, which is post-traumatic stress disorder.
Mm-hmm.
And Parkinson's disease were the first two petitions. And Jeremy and I went to the first review panel meeting when they first set it up, and they didn't really seem to have any idea of how to run it at all. It was like...
But he had like that, remember he had that big, huge
Yep,
book?
they had a
Like,
big book,
He created
but-
himself a manual of manuals
the
you
biggest
know.
thing I've ever seen.
for how it was all going to go down.
Well, on top of
Right.
that, too, how long was this after the law was passed, actually?
Almost 4 years.
4 years.
And
Yeah,
they had to be
alright.
sued. Yeah,
So they went to the first meeting almost 4 years after the law was passed, when this panel was supposed to be together when the law got passed. Like, it should have been like within a matter of 30 days almost.
So basically, it took them almost 4 years to gather a
Wow.
booklet, but they didn't seem to have any idea how to go about with this panel or what their exact job title was.
Well, yeah, it's
and
like
how
they
they had
created
to
their own
decipher.
rule book and then
Mhm.
turned back around and said, oh, we didn't follow our rules,
Right.
so now we have to dissolve and restart the panel
I kind of have a
process.
question, though.
Sure.
Which is what they did.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, this panel. Now, I'm assuming there was people probably picked out from the beginning that was supposed to be like part of this panel, but the panel was never actually fully put together or never
Right.
met.
That's right.
So were these people actually commissioned to be like, all right, I come to you and say, Chelsea, you're one of the new panel members. Back when this law first passed, but we're not going to have any meetings yet, and we don't know how we're going to do it yet, so you're on hold.
Yes.
Well, do you get paid from the state for your position on top of what you're already doing for something you never even did?
No,
Well, I don't know.
No, I don't think so. They talked
I'm just-
about
I'm just
compensation for the people that were participating on the panel, and I
Right.
don't think there was any compensation involved. It was just simply they were paying for their expenses.
Their expenses?
Yeah, I talked to
Stipends,
David
gas
Brogan.
stations.
He's on the Cannabis Patients United.
He's also on this panel.
He's on that panel. That's one of the few people that are on the panel that's not in the medical profession.
Mm-hmm.
He works for an insurance company, I believe, but he's also involved with Cannabis Patients United, which is an activist group. But they're trying to at least advocate for medical marijuana patients and stuff. And he was saying that he wasn't receiving compensation.
I was just curious
You know
if
what
we
I
were
mean?
like, paying people for 4 years and then...
No. And in fact, that was the thing, Chad, is they didn't even bother to get
I'm
these people
retired.
together until 4 years. The people that did finally show up to the first panel back in December or January, whenever it was, they had only been informed of that within 30, 60 days
Alright,
of when that
gotcha,
meeting was.
gotcha.
They were
So
just
they
picked.
they scrambled. They had to pick 7 people off of the Pain Management and Advisory Committee. I believe that's what it's
Yeah.
called.
Or board or whatever
Yep,
you
it's
call
the
it.
Committee on Pain and Symptom Management. There had to be
must-
X amount of people already on that board, on our board.
Right.
I'm not really sure why, but that was what was written in the law to begin with. So they scrambled. Whoever showed up apparently was on the panel, but the main issue was they did not have the the chief medical officer for the state of Michigan on the panel,
Included in the panel.
included in the panel.
Didn't he not want to be part of the panel, though, because of
Well-
the hospital?
When they first created the panel, we were changing officers. I mean, we had a brand new one. I think maybe a month after the panel had its first meeting, so we didn't even have a chief medical officer to be on the panel when they had the panel created. So that was a problem too.
It's just all sloshed up.
It was
So is
just
there
sloshed
good
together.
news coming out?
And that was part of the cop-out, was that they were trying to say, well, we tried to have a chief medical officer present, but he couldn't be here because that position wasn't currently filled.
Right.
Well, you had someone in that position, and essentially all they're doing is rubber stamping. You've got how many people are on that panel? There was like
There's supposed to be 13, I believe.
yeah, and I think there was all of that. Most of these people are with the exception of David Brogan, most of these people are all very well qualified physicians, doctors, who not only are at the top of their practice, but they sit on like the Michigan's Pain and Advisory Board Council and the Surgeons Council and so on. So very you couldn't have more qualified people to make the calls. So the person who's sitting on it from the state level, what are they going to do? Oh no, I don't agree with these 13 people. They're all
Yeah,
there's no way this
problem.
condition should be approved. And then, no, not likely. He's mostly going to rubber stamp everything. So to me, it's like they created their own rule book and then come back around and say, oh, well, we didn't follow our rules, so now you don't get to add these conditions.
Right. So when the panel was still in full swing, they did recommend adding the PTSD and the Parkinson's, but once it was dissolved, those conditions were no longer. They were denied, basically, from the director of LARA, who the final say goes to. But since it was an administrative error and they did not include one of their own people on our panel, those two conditions are able to repetition.
Right.
Now,
So it's kind of like when you get your application from LARA for your medical marijuana card, and you send them everything you're supposed to, but like maybe your driver's license was blurry, and they say, well, you're denied until you get us the clear copy.
Mm-hmm.
Or you're denied until you get the doctor's comments on the form, even though we checked the box off. We've seen these as well. And they're doing the same thing here at the panel here. Oh, well, we're going to deny these petitioners because we screwed up,
and we have to wait
and we're
going to
allow you to reapply. Oh, well, gee, generous. Thank you.
Yes, thank you for taking the time.
So we're going to need people who are fighting for that to start with to make sure they still continue fighting for those then, because They're not lost, but yet we still need to push for them because they're not just instantly going to get put back up for petition, right?
That's right.
Well, we need those
Right.
same people that petitioned the first time.
Yeah, to do it again.
To do it again, and there's a few people.
It would be helpful if we had some new people that
Yeah.
would join on too.
More the merrier. If we get twice, 3 times, 4 times as many people, who cares?
So especially with the PTSD,
Yeah, it's gonna speak
also,
Mhm.
I know all of us probably know someone who has some form of PTSD that's been
Mhm.
overseas or what have
I
you.
got 2 patients.
And they would take testimony from current patients as well. So if you
Exactly.
are getting cannabis as a medication and you find it effective for PTSD, but maybe you got it recommended to you because of some other type of ailment
Right,
that
back
actually
pain.
qualifies.
Yeah.
Right.
That's okay. It's not like you shouldn't stop. You should still petition, or at least if you don't petition, maybe consider giving testimony at one of these hearings so that these physicians who are going to make the call can hear somebody say, hey, you know what? I have used cannabis and I have found that it is effective in this way for this particular symptom. That testimony right there to them is vital, and it helps them make decisions on whether or not they should approve this or
Right,
not.
and especially since it was in such a small little area, I mean, there really wasn't a whole lot of people there for them to decipher from. They were left with their
Sure,
their own judgment on it.
Yeah, they
There's
didn't
no-
have a lot of material or research or anything to go by to say yay or nay,
Right.
and to really have a firm answer. All they really have is a bunch of anecdotal evidence that
Right,
says, this
especially
patient
with
saying,
the-
yeah, it helps me, and they don't have any reports or studies to say that it helps.
Yeah.
Right.
Apparently, you need a report or a study to know that something's true.
Now, like I have one of my patients actually has written documents from his shrink from the VA,
Yeah.
actually promoting the use of medical marijuana for PTSD.
Wow.
And any kind of information like that patients can take the time to get to Lara.
Mm-hmm.
We know when they have this. Did we know when they're going to reform the panel? Have they said anything about that?
This says announcement of the panel's first meeting will be forthcoming. So we really don't know.
Yeah.
so we're back on hold again.
We're back on
At
hold.
least
It
a
could be next
fortnight.
year. So they're waiting on. They have to add one more final panel member before it can be a full panel.
Ooh,
Um,
ooh. I want to be a panel member.
Well, you
Do
could
it.
always
I'm just-
send in your.
I think you have to be a chief
resume.
medical officer or something.
I think that's
Oh,
the
I'm a-
only person they're waiting on.
I'm probably
actually.
And
Definitely.
maybe that might be it too. Is do we have a chief medical officer
We
in the
do.
state now? Did somebody get the job?
Someone did. I don't know what their name is right now.
Okay, but somebody got the job.
But-
Please
Yes.
take the job.
All right.
But in the meantime of this panel,
we only want to pay you 6 figures, and you'll have to do nothing.
right. In the meantime of this panel being dissolved, the director of our medical marijuana panel also retired. So we have a new director of
No,
the
that was
review panel.
Ray Ramsdell.
That
Who retired? Michelle, Melissa.
No, I can't remember. But our new one is Kim Geideke. Celeste. That's the one.
retired.
Celeste retired.
Alrighty then.
Kim Geideke is
probably
taking her
had
place.
nothing.
She's the new director
She's the
of
new director of the Michigan Medical Marijuana Program.
Kim Deideke.
Kim Geideke.
Geideke.
Yes.
Ah,
All right.
hello,
Now, I've yet to
Kim
find
Geideke.
any information on her, on Lara's MMP website.
There's 40,000 people waiting on applications.
Yeah.
Don't publish my number.
Yeah, so nothing's being released on her right now.
How do you spell your
They
name?
got her in hiding
It's,
like the vice president.
last name?
Guy
It's
keep-
Gaedeke.
Gaed.
I got a key every time I unlock my door.
Geideke. Now, I believe she was on some sort of panel about autism.
Yep.
Attempting to reach you on your cellular device.
Okay.
But it really is not a whole lot.
Professional background.
When I talked to their office in Lansing, I was informed that she was just hired, so she's probably swamped full of things to do right now.
Oh yeah. Yep, they got her in training right now. She's reading manuals.
Yeah.
She's learning how to use the Xerox machine.
Right.
Getting her stamp.
But in the meantime, we could always talk about
Take a
this
minute to get stamp made.
zero tolerance if you want. There's a big
Zero tolerance.
What?
big court case right now with People versus Coon. Gentleman was driving under the influence of marijuana
He was not.
and
Was not.
and
Was not.
he allowed the he allowed the officers
Allegedly.
he allegedly
Thank you.
thank you he allegedly He allowed the officer to take a blood sample, and it proved positive that cannabis was in his system. So he was looking at a DUI, and it went through Michigan Supreme Court.
Yep.
And they overturned the appeals.
Yeah, the appeals said that he was guilty.
Yep, Michigan Supreme Court said no, he's not. That's two completely different things. You cannot use Michigan State Police zero tolerance for alcohol in correlation with this at this time. But they are waiting for us to decide or decipher what exactly under the influence
Right. What that is
So they want
exactly.
us to set some sort of standard, like they've done in a few other states. But
Like if you run into a parked car, that's a good standard to question if someone's under the influence. If someone's driving like 2 miles over the speed limit and just looks like a young kid, don't
Or
harass his
under.
ass. I mean,
Well, right now they can just say, "I smell marijuana." Or,
Well,
your eyes are red. They can just use that. Why
you
can't
can
they?
smell
why can't
marijuana.
you
If I
have
got
to
a
have
card. I
test?
smell like weed all the time. I'm sorry.
Well, there's a sobriety test that they do if they think
Yeah.
you're drunk. Even though they spell alcohol, you
Right, but
still,
that's
if you
what they-
pass the
now how are you going to
sobriety
make a
test,
sobriety
Hey,
test?
we'll get down.
for-
We'll do some sobriety tests. We do some one-handed
yeah,
cartwheels and shit.
ABC.
Well, they're trying to enforce that nanogram stuff, nanogram testing.
Well, in Colorado, they
Yes.
backed out on it because the two directors right now, the director who's the main doctor,
Mm-hmm.
and then the main politician who is heading up the 5 nanogram standard.
Yeah.
All the results are finally getting released, and all the results come up missing. Like they're supposed to
Oh,
be released
imagine.
back in March. Now the results are kind of like in limbo, and they both
Yeah.
resigned.
Really?
Because there's a lot of proof. They're saying that like a lot of speculation is that their nanogram thing is way crazy. Like they can't even test for it properly. On
That's
top
what I'm
of
finding out. The
Right.
research I'm finding is that the testing measures that they use
Mm-hmm.
to try to figure this nanogram thing out, it isn't accurate.
Yep.
Not even close to being
No.
accurate.
Mm-hmm.
It's like less than 50% accurate.
Mm-hmm.
So if you start going out there and using this as a method to, hey, you're under the influence or you're not, it's just a crapshoot. You could have somebody who's never smoked in their life could have turn up positive.
I
But
mean, plus,
I
like
think
you
that's-
brought. I'm sorry.
That's
Go ahead.
also beside the point, I think, because if you're using it medicinally, you're
You'll
not
be-
under the influence of anything. It doesn't even affect you the way that it does if you're to use it recreationally.
Good point.
You're using it to ease a condition,
Like Vicodin.
not to get
Yeah, they're
high,
not
like a
checking your blood for
Vicodin.
Vicodin when
So
you get
how
pulled
can you
over.
say that you're under the influence and you're messed up? Like,
That's a good point.
you know, so
It just
I
says
think they
on the
should take
bottle.
that into consideration.
Actually, I've been pulled over before for like speeding, and an officer was there. Now, like when I was younger, fresh on my accident, and I have all my prescriptions in my center console. I kept them there because I was rushing my car for work, and then I didn't want to take them in with me. I had like over 15 prescriptions. Well, every time they would be like, "Oh, are those all yours?" And I'd be like, "Yes, they are." And I'd show them to them, and they'd be like, "Oh, okay." And they would never say anything past that. It was never like, "Wow, you're on all those pills. You on those right now?" It was never like that. It was like, "Oh, okay, then you're
Yeah, are
cool.
you
You're all
supposed to be
good."
driving?
Oh,
They give
yeah.
you like that.
Well, yeah, they couldn't get. No, they didn't do anything.
Well, that's my point.
And I'm not gonna lie. Back when I was on my prescriptions, I was way foobarred. Like I don't even know how they even let me like have my license still. Like I actually got medical leaves from school twice because of all the scripts the doctors had me on. Which means I get to get my money back and leave school without ever getting a bad grade after being there for like as long as I needed to be. All because of that. But yeah, they still were cool. Like, oh, you're fine to drive. You're cool with this.
Yeah.
You can do this. You can do that. And they had me on like stuff that would put down a horse. Like, but yeah, they questioned smoking a
Because
joint.
they like you that
Well,
way.
pre-breathalyzer, they just had a little test they'd give you, but it was different for everybody. They understood it was different for everybody. Handled their alcohol differently, so that's
Yeah.
why they gave you a test. So it should be the same way with marijuana. I mean, if you can pass the test, you're good, right?
But who's going to set the standard for that test?
Like hop on one leg.
Someone who's never
Should be the
smoked
same.
it or
Right.
used
I
it
still think-
medicinally at all. That's
You're
I don't
Military.
know. Why
How come
can't
I'm like,
why
what?
can't the police officers roadside sobriety test be the standard for everybody?
That's what I'm
You know what I
saying.
mean? Like, I know because not everybody can count or do their ABCs backwards.
Right.
right. I
Not
certainly
everybody can
can't right
stand
now.
on one foot. There's got to be some type of cognitive test that we can come up with
Yes.
to say whether or not you're able right now to drive a car.
Yeah.
It should be like, give me a high five, and you got like a minute, you got a second and a half to get it up there. High five. You know what I
Okay.
mean? No, too slow. You're
Yeah.
drunk.
See,
Exactly.
There you go.
Well, I
Take
seen
it.
an experiment.
I don't know. It's got to be something. You know what I mean? besides making you pee in a cup or take your
take your
blood,
blood or-
something that's going to cost some, $70 to $120 for a test, because that's really what that's all about.
Yeah.
Is getting money for testing.
Yes.
But what is it? What is it that we could come up with?
Chinese
Walk
fire
the
drill.
white line. I mean,
Chinese fire drill. You have to get in the car. The cop's gonna hit the siren. You gotta get out in Chinese fire drill, and then stop when the cop hits the siren off where you're at, and then you gotta do it again. And then when he says go, you
Well,
gotta get back in your seat.
I'm
and
pretty
he'd be
sure
like,
maybe 75% of our medicinal cannabis users can't do that.
Chinese fire drill.
No, I'm pretty
Even
sure
a
they
wheelchair
can.
can do it by the car.
I think that most.
But that guy is on his
I
way
think
to
that
DC,
most of
so
our
he might-
police officers are more than capable of identifying whether
Yeah.
you're capable
Yeah.
of not driving your car.
Because most of them smoke marijuana.
They do.
Doesn't matter if they do or don't.
But they
I just
can
think
understand.
it's not hard to tell if the average person has capability. Get out of your car. We're going to check and make sure that you're
Right.
not incapacitated.
Right.
All right.
Are your eyes
Jamie.
open? Can
Jamie,
you
if you're the
see?
cop.
Right. I'm
Ask me
Jamie,
how-
I'm
ask me
Chelsea.
Hey, officer. Why'd you pull me over?
You smell like marijuana.
You had your dabber in your hand.
Hold on 1 second.
Couldn't tell if he was eating a pen or.
I know.
Yeah, okay. You said it smelled like marijuana. I'm sorry. I think I just smell like marijuana because my friends all smoke pot at the house I was just at.
Right.
Um,
See, that doesn't work either.
Doesn't work.
You're gonna need to get out of the
No,
way,
but okay.
sir.
Now the question is, am I sober or am I not sober?
Well, you could just be nervous. Who am I to say?
I don't know. I haven't gotten you out of the car yet.
Right.
At this
I mean,
point,
yeah,
you've
you
admitted.
You want me to get out of the car, officer? Want me to get out of the car? Okay, officer.
You don't want me to have you get out of the car.
I'm getting out of the car. I'm getting out of the car here. Whoa, sorry.
I would
I'm
presume that you're
holding
more
back up. No.
drunk
Now, what
than
you need me out of the car for, officer?
See, and
Whoa,
there you go. It's a judgment call. You're right. It's a
Right.
It
judgment
is a
call.
judgment call.
And that's the thing. Like,
Can I get back in my car and go, officer?
no, I would not let
go
you
with
back.
us.
in
I'm
your
really
car.
thirsty. I need a slushie.
I would not let you back in your
You're
car.
gonna need to go with us, sir.
Okay. See
The
that?
other thing is you got to realize that they get pulled over. It's all about situation
Well,
too.
plus this man.
Did they get pulled
too,
over because they were swerving?
Right,
Was it
he was-
2:30 at night? You know
Right.
what I mean?
This man was going 20 miles over the speed limit.
Holy moly!
So, I mean, that in itself, why are you
There
speeding
you go.
in the
Why
middle of the
doing
day?
20 over? 20 is a
So-
lot.
That's reckless driving. They can
Exactly.
take you to jail just for that.
Yep.
Not trying to
So,
support
I think
cops
they
or
probably could have left it at that, but they probably, needed
Was
some
it on a highway,
headlines
at
in their
least?
town.
That's the
or
thing is,
something.
they couldn't have
Focus on
just
the money,
left it
though.
at that. Could have got him for reckless driving, take your money, and move on.
Right, that's a big enough fine right there.
Was he at least on the highway? That's kind
I
of
don't
rude.
know.
I
if
think
he
he's up
was-
north somewhere.
Yeah, I think he was.
Gee, having like
somewhere
80
up
miles
there.
an hour down like a subdivision
Well, when
road.
Lapeer had that moratorium or whatever going, my buddy was driving on 69. Dude, he wasn't even in like Lapeer, he was going
Oh,
Lapeer,
yeah.
but he was on 69. They
He was
pulled
in
him
the
over.
Lapeer vicinity.
Yeah. He's in his work vehicle.
Oh, yeah.
They pull him over. They said he smells like marijuana, and he's going through chemo and stuff. He's bald, dry mouth, like he's going through it. They pull him out, put him in the back. He's like, "Can you give me my water? I can't even talk to you without my water." And they're like, "No." He's like, "I'm a cancer patient." I'm like, "Whatever, we don't believe that." And like searched the stuff, did everything. Told him they were going to take his vehicle if he didn't have somebody to pick it up. So, and they were going to take him for holding, blood test him, hold him for 12 hours. And he said, "Yeah, I'll call my wife." And he said, or they had his wallet, and they noticed that his wife was his patient. So they said, "No, we're not going to allow her to come pick it up either. So we're just going to tow it." So they towed his work vehicle, made his partner walk. They just let him go. He had to walk home, walk like 3 miles
Let him
home.
drive the vehicle.
Nope.
Wow.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. Put him in all kinds of stuff. Tried to take his driver's license. Tried to do it cost him all kinds of money to get out of that stupid crap.
Wow.
And he was just going to work on the expressway, unmedicated. He looked messed up because he just got out of his chemo thing or whatever.
Wow.
And he wasn't even supposed to be working for 6 months, but he had
Yeah.
to work to survive.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't want to be there anyways.
Don't go through
And
Lapeer.
damn near ruined his life. Yeah, over nothing.
Well, lucky for us though,
If you do go, take a poop somewhere.
if our officers follow what Michigan Supreme Court rules, then we really shouldn't have a problem because they say, and I quote, that the MMMA's protection supersedes the Michigan Vehicle Code zero tolerance provisions and allows a registered patient to drive when he or she has the presence of marijuana in his or her system. So, all they have to do is read this. It's the Michigan State Police legal update that every single one of them gets. If they decide to follow that, that's great. But chances are we'll still have a hassle. So I don't really know
This
what
is
to
now,
do.
at least you know that if your friend was to go through that situation there, it's called into question whether or not he was driving under the influence. It's going to be the duty of the police officer, if he has a card,
Right.
to prove that he was under the influence.
Right. There has
I
to
think
be
it should be. I mean, having it in your blood is irrelevant. Obviously, it's going to be in your blood.
Right.
Duh.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? You're a
Yeah.
patient. Whether or not you are being impaired by it is a totally different, scenario, and it is something that needs to be evaluated. If a patient has been using medication, they need to know and self-evaluate and be responsible and make the right choice there.
Right.
Obviously, but at the same time, officers are going to have to be able to show up in court and say, hey, yeah, this is what we exhibited here. This person was definitely
Right.
impaired.
Definitely.
And had some real reasons to go along with why are they impaired. It's not going to be just hearsay.
Well, wouldn't that be
Right.
better on their part if they had their cop video, their dash video of them getting them out of the car and running them through some sort of sobriety test on camera?
Well, I don't think at
prove
Yeah, but
that
not every
point.
cop has one of those, and
Right.
not every person has the ability to take their case to court.
Yes.
Wow.
So if you was to watch that dash cam, he got pulled over. Probably got pulled right out of the car and put in the
Don't
back
all
of the cop
have
car.
dash cams.
You know what I mean? There's not right.
And a lot of people
Place like
are
break
probably so
It's their own opinion.
broke in this state that they can't even afford to do anything but plead guilty.
Well,
The
they're counting
average
on that
person,
because then
right?
that money goes to the city, right? Or whatever.
No.
If you just take
No,
the
it
deal.
goes
That's
to
different. It depends on who bust you.
yeah. If it's state police, I believe it goes to libraries.
Yeah, I don't know too much about
Actually,
that.
I
Wait,
believe
wait,
it
wait.
does.
Did you just
It
say
goes to education and
libraries?
libraries, books.
There's still libraries.
Yeah, I don't really
Yeah.
believe in those kind of things.
But I don't really think that happens anyway. So it's neither
How are
here
our
nor there.
schools failing and we still have lotto?
Yeah. Yeah. There you go.
Didn't we give a lot of money to the school system too? Didn't was it Granholm or whatever give a lot of money away? Like
Man, I don't know nothing about no graham cracker. What you got else going on here?
Crack a snap up.
Well, that's the.
Trying to get herself a job for Obama. Ain't getting no job.
Surely
You ain't
she
getting no
will.
job. She write a book.
Surely
Go write
she
a book.
will. Well, let's see.
Life
What else do we
grab
have
White
here?
is square and
Do you have
salty.
anything, Jeremy? You want to talk about?
Yeah, I do have a few things here. This United States Conference of Mayors unanimously adopted a resolution Monday, this is about a week ago, that urges the federal government to refrain from interfering in the implementation of state and local marijuana laws, such as those adopted by voters in Colorado and Washington that establish state and locally regulated marijuana markets for adults. So, yeah, follow up on the article, 18 states and also the District of Columbia now allow patients with qualifying conditions to use medical marijuana with recommendations from their physicians. Legislation was adopted this year in Illinois and New Hampshire,
Yes.
awaiting signatures from their governors.
oh yeah.
From the governor.
From the
And
government.
Colorado and Washington both approved their legal measures for adults over 21.
Woo.
Colorado just recently implemented or approved their framework for their distribution there, and Washington is drawing closer. So, but this is kind of neat that the U.S. Conference of Mayors made a statement at least during their conference. I'm sure they weren't having a conference about marijuana.
Sure they were not.
But during their conference, discussing many things, one of the things they said is that, they would urge the federal government to refrain from interfering in the implementation of these state and local laws. So that's a good thing there. Another thing that kind of shows the tides are moving in the right direction here across the country anyways. You have New Hampshire, medical marijuana bill receives final approval from its legislature,
Nice.
waiting for the governor. Is his name Governor Hassan?
Yes.
New
it is.
Hampshire. Yes.
Wow. Governor Hassan, hopefully he will sign that into law.
And we're still waiting to hear on Ohio, also.
Oh, yes.
That'll be a big
Pennsylvania,
deal.
New York, I believe, just passed.
State so friendly. The middle name is.
It says there, this is, Pennsylvania has a bill, but it's kind of a long shot from what I hear, and I think Ohio is along the same lines.
Yeah, Ohio. Good luck, Ohio.
Problem with these bills, you continue to get headway because they are a hot topic, and they do have a lot of good examples of why we should change these laws in areas like Ohio, Pennsylvania, Florida, Illinois, so forth. But the problem is that we need to have more unity, more support, and if we can just get our regular everyday citizens to simply get in touch with their representatives and senators, you could actually have a shot at making this happen. The only other way that's going to happen is if you simply donate all your money to somebody like MPP. And then you can come in and sponsor a campaign for you, so everybody actually gets out and votes. But here's another one. Let me see that. Oh, Maine.
Yes, Maine just passed PTSD as a condition for medical marijuana. See, Maine's got it going on. I believe Arizona.
Thought it was Arizona or New Mexico, one of the two.
Yeah, I think it's New Mexico, actually.
Also had PTSD as a condition we found last week.
Yes.
Cool.
So we're not the only state out there trying to get that done. And I think, wasn't there, Oregon was looking at adding it on as well or something like
Believe
that?
so.
Did a petition. Similar thing to what we have here.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Yes, lots going on.
Oh yeah.
I know for a fact that helps. I know a guy that had it pretty bad. Like he has episodes, kicking and punching, fighting episodes,
Oh, okay.
and that he's woke up with something like acting like it was a bayonet, like a mop or something, stabbing at the couch, and he's had some huge episodes, and that for sure marijuana helps him deal with that situation.
Arizona's initiative is interesting. It allows the patient to possess 2.5 ounces of medical marijuana every 2 weeks. So that's a bit different.
They're just putting a limit on the amount that they can actually get. So I think Arizona's system is through a state-run dispensary.
Mm-hmm.
The ABC liquor stores.
Yep.
Not even, but at any rate, it is state-ran. So what it is it's putting a limit on the amount of medication that a patient can go through. I don't really like those types of things. Patients need to be able to access whatever it is they need to access.
Yeah.
And now, again, it could be 2.5 ounces. If it's a usable marijuana, then that would be a little bit more clear.
Yeah,
Just
just
have
really
it generally
specify.
listed as marijuana.
Sorry, guys.
It's tough to tell.
Yeah.
Stupid thing.
Oh yeah, they license of dispensaries, right?
Stupid Firefox
So this is
beta.
basically medical marijuana in the U.S.
I was just looking at that it passed by 4,300 votes of 50.1% yes.
Yeah, that blew
So,
my mind.
Arizona was a close call as far as getting their medical marijuana law implemented in the first place, and it said that was in 2010.
10.
Yep.
Yeah.
So they're really lucky to have it at all.
Yeah, I can't believe that at all. When I lived in Phoenix, it was zero tolerance. Like if you bought a used car down the road and got pulled over, and they could find a roach in there, you were going to jail for a year. Zero
wow.
tolerance.
Wow.
Yeah, you were not to be
You know about
around
that?
any drugs.
Oh yeah.
Looks like Hawaii
Where's
medical
that?
marijuana patients now have greater access, says here. The governor signed a House bill which transfers marijuana oversight from the State Department of Public Safety to the Department of Public Health. And also increased patient possession amounts from 3 to 4 ounces and personal cultivation limits from 3 plants to 7.
Wow, that's
So,
an improvement then.
An
That's
improvement
awesome.
there as well.
I believe Texas has a House bill. I don't know how well that'll go for Texas. As of May 29th, it is not passed. So,
Don't forget what's coming up.
don't forget what's coming up. My birthday!
We got a few things coming
Guess
up.
what's coming up after my birthday? 7/10!
Yeah, 7/10. And well, we got 7/10. We got some club stuff too.
Yeah, we did.
Actually, the first 2 weeks of this month are pretty cool. You got 7/10. They got the 7/10 celebration in Colorado going on. It's going to be the 7/10, 7/12, 7/13, and 7/14. It's like Cannabis Cup, but for dabs. Yep, big dab off.
I'll see you guys later.
They're going to have dab wars.
Better go now.
There's going to be dab wars and all sorts of cool stuff going on. All sorts of glass blowers, tons of musicians. Fortunately, I just found out about it a few weeks ago out in Colorado going on. So I will not be making it out there. I know a lot of us just found out about it recently. But we will, hopefully we'll be having normal dab wars going on, right?
Dab
We need to
wars.
do something for 7/10.
Yeah, I'm sure you guys all, will be doing
Sure,
some
if you
dabs
just
and
come
stuff.
down to the club on 7/10, I'm sure
Yeah.
we'll be open
Well,
and
plus
doing
I-
something.
Yeah, plus I heard
So-
by
Bring
what's
your
it, next week. I heard
see what
next
you got.
Is it next week? Next week we're getting in, I think by next Tuesday we should have some
Dab works.
dab work
Yes.
stuff, like some dab pads. some
Yes.
dab nails, some domeless, some quartz, some titanium.
Some dabbers.
Dab
Yeah,
tools,
those
yeah,
little
awesome. Well,
mats.
2Ls.
all different kinds of dab tools, right? Dab tools for
Yeah,
builder,
they're all
dab tools
different
for shatter.
shapes.
Yes.
You got all the different varieties there. The dab mats are one thing that a lot of people have been wanting. I know.
Those are
They're banging.
Yeah, we got a lot of people just
Awesome.
sitting there using paper towel left and right. Soon, guys, dab mats. Next week, get your dab mat right at the club.
Dab tag.
And also, don't forget, there's going to be 2 of those dab pieces. I know we got some not G pens, but vapor pens and some new Dab Works oil pens. They're actually Dab Work ones. And I know we also have 2 Dab Work bubblers. It actually takes your vapor pen, so you get the same healthy medicinal use of a vapor pen, and it's attached to a custom blown bubbler. So you're getting like a micro or a mini oil rig pretty much, but instead of having to use a nail and a torch, you have the versatility and also the vaporization of a pen. So a lot of people, you guys that like pens, you guys like the ease of
It
it.
is pretty amazing.
Yeah, I mean it's really cool. So next week, line up early in the morning by 10 a.m. on Tuesday. We'll have them there for you. The supplies aren't limited, so get yours right away. Don't wait.
Don't wait.
Yeah.
I think I already got mine out of the batch, so sorry guys if you guys are short one or two.
You better tell JR.
I mean, I just mean if people line up, you don't think we're gonna have a bunch. I already got one, so better get yours.
Get it while you can.
On top of that,
Yeah, I
too,
want one of those.
what do we have going on also? We have, is it 7/12? We have the soup kitchen coming up.
Yes, we have Soup Kitchen.
Soup kitchen
Which
at the
is-
North and Soup Kitchen.
Yep, that one's on a Friday. This month it's on a Friday,
Hell
2
yeah.
to 5:30.
I dig that. 2 to
Um,
5:30. Meet at the club.
Meet at the club or meet us there. It's 735 East Stewart Street,
Yep.
Stewart Ave.
We have a lot of fun doing this. It's you get there. We do dinner session.
We
We do about half hour, an hour worth of like food prep, like vegetables and stuff like that, cleaning up, just a little organizing, putting your little spin on the good meal you're cooking. And then we take about a half hour break to get our head straight and like talk about the game plan of serving the beautiful food. And then bam, it's
We
the
serve
excitement. It's like you open those doors and start handing out tickets, and it's just like they just come running at you, and they're like. They see you and they see that you've been there before and they're like, oh, I remember these people. They always serve good food. So they're like, I'll take some, and the excitement's on. It's like going to like an exciting sport game or like a soccer
It's-
final or something like that.
It makes everybody happy.
Yeah.
Food does make
Doesn't matter
everyone
where you
happy.
So I get happy just watching it. Like it's so much fun sitting there like with the excitement, the rush of helping everyone out, having all that food go through. And I'm not gonna lie, like every time I go, my favorite part about the whole trip, besides helping people out, is eating the food because I cook some darn good food sometimes when I go there. Well, not just me, I shouldn't say. It's not just me. But there's always
Yeah,
some good
lots of our
stuff.
Chef
members.
Chad.
We've
show
had
up.
lamb.
Soup
We,
kitchen.
yeah, we've had like a lamb
Really
gumbo
awesome
before.
spaghetti
We've had
recently and
we've
pizza and
pizzas and
lasagna.
lasagna. Yeah, I mean
Yes.
all sorts of good stuff.
So if you're into making food and helping out, that'll be Friday, July 12th,
Yep.
2 to 5:30.
Mm.
And then Saturday
Yep. Saturdays
is Adopt a Highway. We have one new cleanup site.
It's our first Siamese
It's our
twin day, isn't it?
Yeah, it's Siamese Twin Adopt a Highway
Two
Day.
highways in one.
Adopt a
day.
Highway Day.
That's 2 in 1. Yeah, that's right.
Two
in
sites for the price of one.
Yes.
Twice the fun.
Now, what do we got for our sites? So now, the original one is on the far west side of the county, right smack dab, like almost in the middle of the county too. It really is. It's right in the border of Genesee County and then Shiawassee County, and it's on M13 between Beecher and West Pearson.
Yes.
And it is a gorgeous stretch of highway.
Yeah,
it's
it's
2
very-
mile stretch.
very
It's,
clean
most
lately.
times are a mile. This is a 2 mile stretch. You know,
Mhm.
not to toot our horn or anything, but our first road we ever done was twice as big as most of them.
Right.
Toot toot.
Right.
All right, now back to not tooting my horn. Now the second
The
one.
new site is on Dort Highway between Carpenter and Stanley.
Yeah,
It's
my
right
favorite
where
part
we
of
need
Door
to be.
Highway.
It's going to need it. It's
It's
going
going
to
to
need
be
it.
dirty and
Yep.
filthy, so the more the merrier.
That's the recycling
Make it
areas.
beautiful.
We're going to make it purty.
Beautiful.
You know, you could probably, if you come out and you got like one of those little magnet picker-uppers, you could probably pick up a few extra dollars in scrap because it's right in front of all the recycling yards.
Yes.
You can probably pick up their leftovers that
So
people
we'll need
drag out.
definitely more
Yeah.
help with the new site than I would say the old site. The
Yeah.
old site, I mean, we just had a spring cleanup there, so it shouldn't be too bad.
Mm-hmm.
But we certainly need as much help as possible.
Yeah, we need to get on
And also afterwards.
And that's at 9 in the morning.
Yep.
If
Sorry.
you haven't shown up for an Adopt a Highway, we do a safety video.
The video
Show
is
you.
amazing.
Yeah, it's a blast
Oh,
from the
yeah.
past.
Oh yeah.
And then we
Cartoons
out,
and meth.
we'll
always go
carpool.
I think they were invented at the same
With
time.
this guy.
And don't forget though, afterwards, what we do every
We
time.
have a luncheon
Oh.
because we're grateful for your help.
And it's not just
Yeah.
a luncheon; it's
The luncheon.
Back to food now, making everybody happy.
Oh, yeah.
Back to the food.
I know last year we had
You see
wonderful
volume.
food. Plus, we also had a whole batch of Miss Darcy's famous cookies.
Yes.
Her chocolate chip
Go
cookies
boy.
will rival any chocolate chip cookie in the state of Michigan that I've ever tried. I can't remember many cookies outside the state of Michigan, so I apologize on that one. But I eat a lot of cookies around here, and hers are by far the best. I'm even talking better than Zingerman's, better than the Laundry, which are like some of your better bakeries around Michigan.
Maybe.
Chad, no.
I have a brilliant
They're
idea
amazing.
about those cookies.
Yeah?
We should have her give us like little goodie bags of cookies for all of our euchre tournament players because we're gonna have a G3C euchre tournament.
Yes.
Yes. When is that coming
Euchre
up?
and cookies.
When is the euchre tournament coming up?
That is July
At the same
19th.
time too. We're on
That's
theme.
July 19th. We're gonna be starting some late nights at the club, 6 to 10 p.m.
That would be cool.
So we'll be able to entertain and play
6
some
to
games
10.
and hang out and
Woo!
be where we usually want to be anyway, just later. So if you know how to play euchre, come sign up. If you don't know how to play euchre,
You can come learn.
you can come learn. I
You
don't
don't have
know
to be
how
an
to play. I
Now,
have
again,
no idea how to
could we be
play.
fair to everyone
I
out
don't
there?
play cards,
Like,
but-
my spelling's not the best. You know how to spell euchre, so people out there who don't know how
Yes,
to play
it's
euchre, they can Google it.
EUCHRE.
Thank you. Save yourself the embarrassment and trying to figure out yourself if you don't know how to spell it.
We
She
also
just did it
have
for you.
sign up at the
Nice.
clubhouse where you
I feel
come
like a
in, check
jackass last time I
in.
looked up on Google.
We'll teach you how to play. It's a good
Sign
time.
up for any-
July 19th.
What is this cruel joke that Will's playing on me? I can't find freaking euchre on Google. And Val was like,
Y-O-O.
what the hell are you spelling? And I'm like, euchre. She goes, whoa.
Way off.
Yeah. I had Yorker.
Oh, well,
You're trying.
you were
I
trying
was
really
trying. Yeah, I
You're
gave it my
close.
all.
What came up under Yorker? Yorker cards?
All sorts of dogs and
all
shit like
sorts
that.
of things.
Dogs and New Yorker clothing and shit like that. Women's stuff. Yeah, it was
At
pretty.
least you was entertained.
I was frustrated for a moment.
Anything else you guys want to talk about?
It's
Yeah.
tough when you don't know how to spell
I'm
something.
good.
It is.
Way off.
And in my all fairness,
I mean,
I
when
did
you're
have
trying
to
to do
learn
a
my
search,
spelling
you know
over
what I mean?
again. You know what I'm saying? So it even makes
How
it
about
even
Draft
more
Fest? That's
painful
not good.
sometimes. But I thank
Whoa,
God
really?
for
August?
spell check.
August 10th.
Spell check is my corrector.
That's a month from now.
It is.
I can't help but go squirrel every time they light that thing up.
It's fun. Write little messages.
Oh ho 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 ho.
Glad you
Oh
had some fun.
oh. Hey John, what you doing there, buddy?
I think he felt.
I think you felt.
You fell
I'm
asleep.
seeing you're,
Oh!
I'm seeing you're enjoying your laser there on the chat.
Oh,
Yeah.
he's down on the double stuffs.
Laser pointer.
No. Double stuff.
Double stuff.
What else? There's something else coming up. I
Crab
just can't remember.
Drop Fest soon, but that's not till August.
Yeah.
August 10th.
Oh, hey, if anyone's in the club right now, and you guys are listening, and you hear me, and you're a musician, musically inclined, I don't care if it's like a ukulele, a violin, electric guitar, anything that's entertaining.
If you're funny, you're a
Yeah.
magician, a jester magician,
Yeah, if you're a
Whatever.
midget gesture magician.
even better.
Yeah, I really would love a magician. Like, I'm dead serious.
called
Like, it'd be
small
so
people,
cool to have a
though.
magician.
A magician?
A
Magician.
magician. I get it. That's fun.
Nice.
That's a
I
good one.
like that. But for our late nights, we need some entertainment. And we also have the
and
music
during
thing
the
going on.
day, yeah.
Well, the
Just
music-
jokes, even stupid jokes.
Yeah, if you
Tell jokes.
want to come in for a couple hour set and just jam out during the day while we're open, feel free. Get
Yeah.
a hold of us down at the club. You have to be a card holder, of course, to come into the clubhouse.
Mm-hmm. And
But
if you
I'm
got
sure there's
talent,
lots of musically talented people.
if you got talent, come
who
show
come
it
out of
off.
the woodwork, yeah. So
There's no better place to show off your talent, than the club. Period. Because yesterday I met number 9,000.
yes,
Oh, yeah.
member
So,
number 9,000.
Member number
Wow.
9,000
Groovy.
came in yesterday, and we chitter chattered, and that just let me remind myself that wow, 9,000 people now. So if you guys
That's wonderful.
something you want to put out there and let other people see, let other people hear, you want to get yourself out there, you're musically inclined, you're a comedian, whatever. No better place than do like an open mic to try to get people to hear your stuff and to like you and to follow you and to help yourself get it further with what your dream is than a place like this. I mean, you can go do an open mic somewhere, where there's like 2 people sitting around drinking beers. That's cool. But we have a lot more people than that sitting around. So, it's a wonderful place to come off and showcase your talents.
Yeah.
Why not?
Not really trying to make it a concert hall.
Well, it's not a concert hall,
you were
but we're
saying,
going to have...
we are going to have late nights. We're
Yeah.
going to have a fuller set.
I mean, like, someone does
And,
acoustic, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
Yeah, don't
sure.
say
and they're a little
Bedroom
embarrassed
guitar.
about it, or they want to show off their new song they just learned. Like, what a better spot. Like, you can actually play in front of quite a few people that are going to be like-minded and accepting and open to what you got to hear. I mean, as long as it isn't like, go kill your parents. Well, even then, you probably have people that would like it. So I can't
Well.
judge you on that. Sorry, I didn't mean to be judgeful there.
Maybe for a minute.
Maybe for a moment.
Slightly.
But we've had all sorts of people talk about musical talent and stuff, and then we offer a time and we don't have any.
Sorry, I don't want to, but I gotta judge that.
You can play, how people do that thing with their...
I'm feeling godlike right now.
Don't want to bring that down, but I got to.
I want to see a really cool drum circle or something. I think drum circles are awesome. So
Drum circles.
I'm trying
Yeah,
to go
drum
with a couple
circle.
I
people.
mean, come on.
What's up? You guys got drums?
You got drums. You got a
Who's
car.
got drums?
Half an hour drum circles, about all you can take inside a closed
Yeah.
building.
Oh yeah, well we
Yeah.
got outside too.
Well,
You
we
don't
don't
want to
really
jam
need
for
full
hours.
Dude, we have a
sets.
whole-
Like I was at one of those Indian powwows one time, and for the first half hour, man, it was
Right.
cool.
Yeah, it's awesome.
That's
But
about
about
it.
hour 4,
Oh
it
no.
was like boom, 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 boom. I'm like, you guys gotta switch up the beat. You know
Right.
what I mean? Like, bring in the double bass.
Do something.
Something.
Someone got
Yeah,
a
it was
rattle.
a really
But they
cool
started singing, but it didn't last
Listen.
too long.
carol like that.
We do have outside the grass field, if
Cool.
drums are a little big.
We could always have a karaoke hour.
Yeah,
Yeah.
karaoke.
Ah,
yeah.
karaoke.
See, that in
Yeah.
itself would be a fulfilling day.
Do we have any
Just say-
karaoke people out there?
I'm sure out of all
I'll
the people that are in the
karaoke.
club,
Karaoke wars.
Somebody
I
would.
will rock the karaoke
Yeah,
like
she
it's the cat.
I wear my sunglasses at night.
I don't even need
I can't sing at all,
sunglasses.
so
I would try to sing something. I've never sung before, but I would try.
yeah, hell yeah. I
Might
like
get people
I like the
motivated.
spirit, man. The spirit.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's fun.
Yeah. You got anything, you guys? Anything?
So-
Taco Bell is trying to sue
Yeah, I saw it.
Yeah,
these guys who were
And
putting
Del
on.
Taco, right?
Taco
Yeah, and
smell.
Del Taco. We're trying to sue the companies that were putting on the Kush Expo at the Anaheim Convention Center. Looks like they forgot to get their rights before they started slinging Taco Bell.
I just said they
It's
used their
kinda like-
logo.
Yeah, well, they put their logo on to something with the, and they didn't pay for that. You know what I
Right.
mean, so like if we were gonna slap the Taco Bell logo on the front of the podcast, we'd have to pay for that.
Yeah, were they acting like they were sponsoring the gig or something? But they
Or
weren't?
somehow tied in with it or something.
Yeah.
Is the way it makes it appear. I understand corporate baloney.
Yeah.
It's just a bunch of crap.
Bologna.
But, like, it'd be one thing. We could all sit here like right now. We're sitting here eating brand name stuff. We don't have to worry
they
about
didn't-
that. We're not
they
trying
didn't
to
agree to that
advertise it or sell it to you. You know what
Unless
I
we
mean?
were saying it was gross and disgusting and makes you sick, they probably don't care.
Well, we're not trying to make money on the podcast. You
Don't
know,
get
so
yourself-
trying
don't-
to call us up. Not charging you to watch the show.
Don't listen to him. I'm over here trying to get a check from Munchos for advertising how wonderfully tasty and light they are.
By the way, I love Kroger's. Kroger's is the bomb. Look, I got Kroger dip.
Beastie, every day, beastie.
Yes.
Yeah, that's convenient product placement, they call it.
What's that?
Product placement, they call that.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
exactly. I mean,
If you
Or
do
like
enough,
the
eventually you get a
Truman
check,
Show,
right?
You know?
Yeah,
Munchos, I sleep with them.
Oh, it's not true.
Munchos,
You know,
let's
Harold,
sleep with them.
Harold and Kumar didn't get anything from White Castle.
I get up in
First
this
movie.
bag all night
I
long.
bet they did by the third one.
Not even a T-shirt. White Castle didn't even send them T-shirts for the
What?
first movie.
No way.
Yep, they
That's
got nothing.
because White Castle is
that's
disgusting.
because that's White Castle.
Yeah,
And that's what you should expect.
it's
Yes.
the hugest product placement ever. It's
I
in the
would
title
never
Oh, yeah,
vote
it
of your
is.
movie.
Well,
Yeah, they should have got some compensation.
I don't care.
But I did see on the Conan show, he was bragging about Arby's, and Arby's sent him a unlimited.
well, if you think about
Card.
it, though, they never
And
really.
he took his whole
Unlimited
audience.
roast beef.
He took his whole audience that night.
Oh,
to
that's
Arby's on that card.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's a lot of.
Did they
Pink
even
slime.
make it though to White Castle? they ever end
Yes.
up at White Castle?
Yeah, at the very
But,
end.
See, it was at the very
And
end,
it was
and
the
they
best.
didn't explain, how delicious.
It's the best. It was a
Oh, it's the
slow-mo
best, yeah.
eating White Castle.
They got
I
like
don't remember
40
that
of them.
part. Well,
40 sliders each.
They
So,
totally-
30 sliders each.
And like
should
15
have.
sodas.
One got diet, one
Yep.
got regular.
Yep.
I need to rewatch this movie.
You know what? If you guys are in the west side of the state, go to Grand Rapids on Wealthy Street. Right off. It's Wealthy and Eastern.
Seriously, there's a street called Wealthy Street.
Wealthy and Eastern. It's in the hood.
I knew I hated
It's in the hood.
It's in the hood, but it's called Black Castle. And oh my god, it is the best spin-off on White Castle you'll ever find, and it is
It's pretty amazing.
delish.
Actually. I've never heard of that.
Really?
Oh yeah, dude, it's just one. There's only
Off
one of
Wealthy
them.
Street, you go to Black Castle.
It was off
And
Eastern and
it's
Wealthy.
good.
It's not actually on Eastern. Yeah, it's really good, dude. Really
in
good.
Grand Rapids.
In Grand Rapids.
I'll have to go there.
Here, actually, I could probably Google
Product
it for you.
placement with Black Castle.
Oh, dude,
All right, but
right.
if you want a good burger, go to Frickin'
Go
Burger.
to
Oh,
Good
Frankenburger's
Burger,
amazing.
home of the Good Burger. Can I take your order?
Frickin' Burger is amazing.
Frickin' Burger's amazing.
Frickin' Burger.
Over off of Linden Road. See, there's some
Corona.
advertisement for it.
There you go.
Now,
Yeah,
if he
go
sues us for
local,
that,
man. Go
I'm going to
local.
counter sue for burgers.
I think they should, send us food
I
and
went
cater the
to,
event every Wednesday. We could have like a spread out here of
Oh,
all kinds of
yeah, that's a
Arby's
great
and Taco
idea.
Bell and
No,
Munchos.
no. You need local, like that little place
Like Frickin' Burger.
Well, yeah.
on Hill Road.
Is it?
Yeah, he
You
is.
know, that
Oliver
Hill Road
Tees?
place,
It
little-
looks like a chain, but it's the
little
first of the chain. It's the first link in the chain.
It is.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's the first link in the
It's
chain.
the first link in the chain.
Seriously.
I want a second link.
I
in
just
the
learned
chain.
last night that PVC was invented in Burton, Michigan.
No
Did you know
way,
that?
PVC
Really?
Yeah.
pipe
And it all still comes out of there.
out of Burton.
Is that the Genova plant or whatever
Yep, that guy owns the patent on PVC pipe.
That's why he's loaded.
Yep.
I always wondered, like, how is it that that little, shop can afford that fancy LED sign? Now I know.
Yeah.
Now I know.
He gets a piece of every
Where
PVC
it
that's
is?
ever sold in the
Forgot
world.
where you were.
Bada boom, bada bing.
Yeah, that's how it's done.
I'm just about done here.
Don't smoke out of PVC.
Don't
No.
ever do that.
Don't do that.
No.
Glass only.
Or an apple.
Or an apple.
Apple's not bad.
I love
I've actually
apples.
smoked out of a ground pipe before. I
Yep.
made a pipe out of dirt.
Done
Laid
that.
on my belly.
You like make a tunnel in the dirt and then you
Two
lay
sticks,
over it.
yeah. A big stick and a small stick. Pack a mound around it. Take the sticks out. You got yourself a ground pipe.
Yep.
All right.
Works well.
Internet's
Can
killing
you
me.
maybe
Don't hit it hard.
Maybe you can make one on the show next week.
I want to be there for that.
Yeah, we'll bring in some dirt
Yeah,
and some plastic. We'll
like
make
a
a
tray, little dirt tray. John,
Dirt train.
Yeah, we
it
think
up.
they'll probably
he
do that
makes
outside.
one. Can
pipe.
you see if it works?
There
Yeah.
you go.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was wrong. It was Burton
We'll
Street.
open it up.
We'll have a fire
Black
extinguisher
Castle.
on hand.
Yeah. I got one upstairs, so.
Hey,
We're gonna have
I
to be
think we should
closer.
do
Okay, I'll bring it down.
Before we go
In case I
there.
get
Wait a
an
minute,
oil
wait a minute. It's
sample
made out of
with my
ground.
dirt.
You just smush it.
I might accidentally get like an oil sample with my dirt.
Get a gas station.
Gotta watch out. I won't take it from my yard. But
This,
sure don't
this
dog
is the
pee.
city of.
Yeah.
You might have some contaminants in your soil. Well, I went to smoke out of a ground pipe and the thing just blew up on me.
Ding dang ding. That's my dad
Sand
would
and burnt
say.
eyebrows everywhere.
There you go. Fuck yeah, Grand Rapids. That's it with the.
Awesome. It looks delicious.
This is Black Castle. I would totally eat there.
Black Castle Restaurant and Tax Service.
We're
That's awesome. It is too. Wow.
That is awesome.
I was wrong. I'm sorry. I was one street off. It's on Burton Street.
But it's in
Yes.
Grand Rapids.
And tax service.
That's good stuff.
We're gonna be a minute. You might want to go next door and grab yourself some grub.
All right, guys. Anything else for this week?
I think that's it.
Groovy restaurants.
Mind your taco.
Mine's yours.
I think it was the laundry on Sunday. I went down there to take my mom down there for breakfast, and we got there like 2 minutes past breakfast being served.
Was the French
French
line?
laundry?
Yep, and they call it the laundry now.
Where is it?
Oh.
Right down in Fenton,
Yeah.
off Owen Road. You go down there off 23, you get off the Owen Road, you head downtown Fenton, and it's right there on Owen Road. It's really good. But their cookies, they're making their own cookies now, and they're ginger jump ups and molasses cookies.
Oh, I love those. My mother makes
Just to
the
let
best
you know that,
molasses
guys.
cookies,
Mm.
I think.
We must all be hungry.
The Manchos did not do it for them.
Yeah, food is the theme today.
Cool. All right, guys. Thanks for joining us this week. It's been
Thank
fun. Flint Talk Radio, awesome, and Genesee County Compassion Club show.
For shizzle.
Thanks for being here, Chelsea.
Thanks for inviting me, guys.
Yeah,
Hopefully,
thanks, I
I'll
guess,
have
Saturday.
more stuff to discuss with
Yeah,
you
let's
later.
come back next
Of course.
week with some more info.
Yeah, that'd be
Mhm.
fun. Thanks.
Yeah.
Sweet.
See y'all.
All right, tally ho!
Womp womp.